welcome to 5 Minutes, your fast track to smarter insurance technology and stronger leadership. In the next 5 minutes, we're going to show you a better way to lead, scale, and innovate without the chaos. Let's get into it. So Ron, thanks so much for joining me. How has your first day of Insurtech Hartford Symposium been?
Thanks for the invitation. It's been a great first day. I've been coming a number of years. Meet a lot of people. There are a few people you connect with, which year after year you sort of come back, catch up, LinkedIn updates. So new information, new contacts, for sure.
Fantastic. There's a question I ask all of my guests because there's usually an interesting story behind it. How the heck did you get into insurance?
It was not by purpose. I think that's the story with many people. Yep. I joined GE as part of their leadership management program. Okay. And they gave rotations in various areas so you could learn the entire business. And you're able to bid on where you want to go. I was assigned to their reinsurance unit out in Kansas City. And I said, what did I do wrong? First off, reinsurance and Kansas City, that's a flyover city for me. So fell into it. The business was in a critical situation, which gave me a lot of responsibility. International opportunity turned out to be the best thing for me. So the lesson from that is run to something that's in a crisis mode, because then you really can't make it worse. Right? There's only upside, and you have to be open to opportunities as they present themselves.
I love that. So your first exposure to insurance was reinsurance. Well, yeah, way to pay a real simple way in, huh?
Correct. And the funny thing about reinsurance is, one of my mentors at the time, he had started insurance. He said he wished he knew about reinsurance earlier, just because of the complexity and the financial remuneration. Yeah. Just happened to me, right? So sometimes the stars align for you.
That's awesome. So take me to where you are now.
So right now I'm at BMS3. I've been there since December, heading up their risk and compliance area. I came from Swiss Re, a large organization, wanted to do something where I could shape things a bit more. That entrepreneurial spirit that we talk about is present, and I'm really enjoying it. So I bring my reinsurance knowledge, my compliance and risk management, but I'm learning the broking space, which thinks different, a more commercial mindset.
Yeah, got it. One of the things, Ron, I got to commend you on is you were up on a panel, and I got to listen in on this panel, and talking about a topic that is, I think some might consider dry, some might consider secondary, some might consider friction, right? Talking about legal, regulatory compliance, et cetera. But you guys on that panel, and you especially, Ron, very, very interesting twist to things. And I heard you say something that was kind of really interesting, where you talked about leveraging compliance and the regulatory framework to drive innovation. Can you double click on that for me?
Certainly. So I've been in this space for a while, so I'm always thinking of what can I do to this topic to make it more engaging? Right. How can I make it more attractive? And in doing so, you need to speak the language of the business. So how can I take this compliance topic and use it to simplify a process, use it to look at things from a different perspective? There are things that often happen in our environment that are negative, that are present a risk, but in that risk, where can we find opportunity? Yeah. If we just go to the stock market, Warren Buffett often talks about when the market is down, that's the time to go in and to buy, right? Because things are on sale. Sure. So in the compliance space, if you look at, say, an opportunity where there's a new exposure that hasn't been there before, how can we close that gap? How can we help our clients? Anytime you can give someone a solution, that's an upside. In the regulatory space, if you can get ahead of something that's coming and provide that solution, that's a great opportunity. More value to our clients, more value to us.
There's something you said in there that I want to expand on, because as a technologist, I can certainly use more of that. I know a lot of my technology brothers and sisters can. You said speak the language of the business. Correct. So I'm hearing that there are other disciplines in insurance that have that challenge other than technology. Yes. Talk a little bit more about how you've overcome that in your career and some tips and tricks and tools.
Absolutely. Yep. Going into a new situation, I'm shadowing my key stakeholders. I'm spending time with them to sort of see what they're doing. One, because then I can see the pain points created by my function. Right. Right? Because sometimes you don't know. And one of the things, started out in banking, and one of the first things that I experienced is in branch banking, everyone's asking you to do something. And one day I sort of pushed back, and they said, well, we're only asking you for one thing, but marketing's asking for something, finance is asking for something, everyone's asking for something. So that's made me more sensitive to that frontline person. So I try to spend time, learn it, talk about pain points, create an environment where people feel free in talking to me.
Yeah.
So it's not just a one-off. So we keep that going.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Was it you that made reference to the comment of people want a crossing guard, not a cop?
Absolutely. That's been my explanation the entire time. No one wants to hear no, right? But if you're a crossing guard, you cross here, you get some mud on you. You cross here, you may get hit, right? So knowing enough about the business and your profession and risk and compliance to sort of provide that guidance is a great value. Sometimes people get frustrated with our legal colleagues. They'll just say, no, you can't do that. Be pragmatic. Tell me how I can move this forward.
Thank you for joining this episode of 5 Minutes. If you've enjoyed our discussion, we'd love for you to share it with anyone else you think might find it interesting. Also, please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening on and hit that bell to stay on top of the game with our practical 5-minute episodes. We look forward to seeing you again next week.